It's okay to be alone. It's also okay to be unhappy. It's okay to be unhappy sometimes, man. It's okay to say, you know what, man, I'm f***ed up. So you gotta go to the truth first. Who are you? You get really accountable and say, okay, who am I? What's the truth about me? It may take months, it may take years. Figure out your purpose. Figure out what you want to be in life.
Patience, just waiting your turn. That's a key component to becoming successful. I said before, it can get so easy just looking at someone else's plate, looking at all the food on their plate, but you might even realize it's being cooked up in your kitchen. That's gonna be so much greater.
Heard this in many prophetic books of the story was already written. We over here just trying to figure it out. Trying to figure out which way to go. Life is already showing you which way to go. It's about being still, listening to those prompts, those intuitive prompts, the synchronicities in life that are saying, here, go this way, do this. And then you start to see that you have always been guided. You've always been steered in which direction to go. So now this is, like, look back on your life. You're always gonna be okay. So when that door closes, don't cry, don't be upset. Remind. It means you have to tell your mind over again. This may be closed, but something bigger and better is going to be opened.
At a point, you just have to pull the trigger, you know? And it's not gonna feel right. You know, that's the whole point, it's the illusion. It's not gonna feel right, it's not gonna feel safe, it's not gonna feel doable. That sense of fear that you feel when you are faced with the decision to take that leap is what separates those who really transcend toward their vision, their calling, their purpose, and those who don't. That is the difference. And so it's not a question of capability, it's a question of will. Will you make the decision when you take the leap?
The Buddha says, being in a state of pain, anxiety, or in a state of suffering comes from attachment. When you're attached to things, attached to people, attached to identities, attached to philosophies, then you end up being in a situation where you experience pain. But you don't have to experience suffering if you live in a state of no expectation, where you're just living life, taking it day by day, step by step, and enjoying yourself. You always have the pain of comparison. It's easy to compare yourself in the age of the internet to other people. The pain of living in the future, right? The pain of what you could be, you should be, but you aren't. You can liberate yourself from a lot of these things by living in the present moment, by being here right now.
Well, we may not be able to control everything in our outer world, but we certainly can control our inner world. And so it's not so important to not react. I mean, everybody reacts, I react. The question is, how long are you gonna react? So if you keep an emotional reaction going on for an extended period of time, you're memorizing that emotion, and your body, as the unconscious mind, is believing it's living in the same past experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We become addicted to the very life we don't even like. So it's important then for people to realize then, when you have that moment where you have crisis or something breaks down, that you do have control over it, and it's a formula.
If you think that everything is too good to be true, you're gonna be right 9 out of 10 times. The only issue is that 1 out of every 10 opportunity, that could be the one that could change your life. So optimists fail far more than cynics, but eventually they hit a home run. So always keep your guard up, protect yourself, be street smart, but never fully close yourself off to the fact that you might have a life-changing opportunity in front of you.
These are words to remember when anyone tries to tell you to give up, tell you to give in, because whatever you're trying to do is impossible. Impossible is just a word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. I'm here to say you will make mistakes along the way. You will fall down. I have many times, but what we do after that fall is how we make history, because impossible is nothing.
If you look at the greats in any walk of life, the greats do things when they don't always want to. And that's the separation.
But never be ashamed of anything you've done in your life. Face it, fix it, make it better. Build belief, build confidence to the point where nothing can hurt you because you know exactly who you are. You've faced your demons. You were able to hear all your past traumas. I'm no longer embarrassed. I'm no longer ashamed. Being ashamed is one of the biggest things that kill people nowadays.
What's risky is living your life and never trying for anything and never doing something brave and never getting yourself scared, and in a good way.
You know, if I see something, I see an opportunity, I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We only, you know, we're all gonna die one day. So we live like that. Live like you could die tomorrow. You know, go for it.
A lot of people think they have all this time, so they fucking waste it. And they never go out and do what they really set out to do or accomplish or do anything great in their life. You think when you're young that you have all this time. You have no time. There's no time. There is no tomorrow, you know? There is no tomorrow. That shit. Let's get all this done today.
Contemplate the price you pay for inaction. So I think a lot of the time we presume that inaction has no cost, but it does. Inaction does have a cost because your attention is the most important thing that you have. So contemplate the price that you pay for inaction. It's a justification for you doing things sooner rather than later and committing.
Every morning when you get up, say over and over to yourself, do it now, do it now, do it now. I do it now, do it now. Whenever you have this tendency to procrastinate, program your subconscious mind with this automatic conditioned command, do it now, do it now, do it now. The key to overcoming procrastination is to develop a sense of urgency. Be the kind of person who gets things done quickly. Be the kind of person who launches fast on a task. Say over and over to yourself, do it now, do it now, do it now. Do you know that less than 2% of the population have a sense of urgency, and that there's not an example of a successful person anywhere who does not have a sense of urgency? That if you just develop a sense of urgency when somebody gives you a task, that you get on it and do it fast, that alone will move you into the top ranks in a very short period of time.
How do you try to make them understand you when they don't even understand themselves? They judge your actions, but don't even care to think about theirs. They criticize your every move while they blindly stumble around. You're trying to garner respect from the wrong peoples. It is apples and oranges. They view reality differently than you do. And every minute you spend trying to sell them on your dream is a minute you are not spending actually trying to achieve it.
When you're grateful, you can't be worried. You can't be fearful. When you're grateful, you can't be angry. And anger and fear are what screw people up most in their relationships, in their life, in their business. So I wire myself. I was saying to you that most people want to be happy, but their habit is to be worried or pissed off or frustrated or stressed. And so they've got a highway to stress and they got a dirt road to happiness.
One of my most powerful motivational frames is thinking about the person that I want to become as the destination. And thinking like, I want to be bulletproof. I want to be bulletproof in these ways. I want to be bulletproof in my marriage. I want to be bulletproof in my business, etc. And I think about that man, whoever I want him to be. Like we said, hell is when you look at who you could have been and realize that you're not that person. And then I think, if I were to make that man, what would I put that man through to make him who he is? Like, it wouldn't be easy times. It wouldn't be quick wins. It wouldn't even be easy wins. It would be the toil and the struggle of achieving and reaching for things that are right out of grasp. And so when I'm going through those like really harder times, I like to think of like looking in my mental mirror of like, I'm making you. I'm not there yet, but I'm making you.
Feeling lonely? Me too. I feel lonely a lot. But what loneliness is at its core is a lack of understanding of who we really are.
When something bad happens, why me? To feel sort of a grievance, that things aren't fair, to feel that other people aren't giving you what you want or what you deserve. Start from a position of feeling kind of sorry for ourselves. We deserve more than what we're getting. And so Amor Fati is very powerful in that you train yourself to accept everything that happens. It's sort of a banality to say that things happen for a reason, but there's some truth to it. For Nietzsche, it was, this is life. Life involves pain. Life involves adversity. You're going to die one day and it's not going to to be pleasant. Your friends and family members, they're going to die one day and it's not going to be pleasant. You're going to have failure in life. People are going to hurt you. But that is life. That's what it is. So to resist that, to be angry about that, means to not love life itself.
Join an easy crowd. You won't grow. Go where the expectations are high. Go where the demands are high. Go where the pressure's on to perform, to grow, to change, to develop, to read, to study, to develop skills. Go where the demands are high. Go where the expectations are strong so that it'll provoke you, push you, urgently insist that you not remain the same for the next couple of years, the next 5 years, that you'll grow and change.
The battle is feelings versus discipline. And I hate living according to your feelings. I hate acting according to your feelings. They get you messed up, dude. They jack your life up. They get you in trouble because not all feelings are good. You cannot live your life based off of your feelings. Feelings do not equal reality. Feelings do not equal results.
Won't get harder. Like, this is the hardest part. And so if you can just make it through this, everything else is downhill. It's not that the things that the dragons are going to slay aren't going to get bigger. They are. But you become so much more equipped to slay them back. And you have so many more allies. You have people in the stands cheering for it. You have the audience. You have all of these other things that are behind you. But at the beginning, it's just you with a stick against a bear.
I need you to understand that there is an undeniable power behind belief. And I know that you've never had anybody that's truly believed in you, but I'm telling you that I believe in you. I know that you can overcome your destructive habits, that you could become more confident, you can earn more, you can let go of the traumas that shit no longer serving, and you're better than that.
Of saying what if and start saying why not. Some people are gonna live with the what if for the rest of their lives. But when I get old, I'm on my deathbed. Man, what if I would have took that chance? What if I would have just started? What if I would have took the first step? Taking the first step got us exactly where we are today. You take a chance to do something that you love or saw in a dream, it can change your life. But exactly where you are right now is always gonna be there. It's never gonna go anywhere. Your hometown's gonna be the same. People are gonna be doing the same shit around you. But a chance for you to get out of where you're at, step out and take a chance on life, and it could be the best decision you ever made in your life. But you can't sit down and what if? Sit down on your ass and think, damn, what would it be like to be there? Go fucking do it.
The hardest part about change is not making the same choice as you did the day before. Now, once people understand that they're going to be uncomfortable, then the question is, what thoughts do you want to fire and wire in your brain? What behaviors will you demonstrate in one day? In the act of closing your eyes and rehearsing who you're going to be when you open your eyes begins to install neurological hardware in your brain to look like you've already done it.
Whatever you're thinking about, that's who you will become, because thoughts lead to actions, actions lead to habits, habits lead to lifestyle. And that lifestyle is what dictates who you are.
Here's the reality. Bad days are in store for all of us. It's guaranteed. It's the circle of life. So the question we need to ask ourselves is it really worth wasting perfectly good days fearing the bad ones?
Will chase happiness because they think that that's what they need, when in reality, happiness is just a byproduct of becoming the best version of yourself. So instead of chasing the emotion, become the type of person that is experiencing that emotion, and you can be in that state more consistently.
My prayer for you is that you win the battle that no one knows about, because usually those are the toughest.
On the other end of suffering is a life that many people don't know even exists. It's a beautiful world. We all live in this world where our brains are keeping us in this box. Outside that box, on the other edge of suffering, is a world that's endless of opportunity. But we are afraid to go outside that box because in that box it's comfortable. Outside that box, man, God gives you a shovel and says, man, start digging. That's not fun. But you dig your own path to all kind of stuff that's unknown.
There ain't nothing you can do about what's gonna happen to you. You can't stop life from happening. You can do something about it. Life is 10% what happened to you, is 90% what you do about it. You got to stop tripping every time something happened to you like it's the end of the world. It ain't. Just change your mindset. If you change your attitude, you change your altitude.
To succeed, you gotta overcome your fears, battle your own greed, conquer your own demons, become unsure, second guess everything you believe in, survive through the suffering to figure out the meaning, and go hard to the moment you're bringing creaming. You might lose sleep, but it's gonna feel like you're dreaming.
Like the process of self-improvement. At the end of the day, you gotta ask yourself the question, what fulfills you? Like winning and losing, cool, of course it bothers you emotionally, right? But when you put in work, when you prepare, when you give everything you got to something, the process of self-improvement, even if it doesn't go the way you want it to go, you still have something to hang on to, knowing that you put some pride into the process of it, right? Just the process of self-improvement. When you do things, you try your best to do it a certain way, right? It's not predicated upon outcome. I'm not doing it, like he said, because I'm trying to attain this. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to get this. I'm not doing it for this, because the moment you get into the for this, to get this, like you're gonna be on the emotional roller coaster. So every once in a while, man, I think you gotta pull your head up for a little bit of air and just ask yourself, man, like what is it that fulfills me when I'm chasing that drag? You know what I'm saying? Fulfillment is a powerful thing.
Best advice I can give you on that is treat the past as a school. Let it teach you the mistakes you've made, the things that went wrong, the things that didn't work. Don't use the past as a burden to carry, and don't use the past as a club to beat yourself to death. Past losses, past failures, past mistakes. But let the past be a school. Tough school maybe, you've all been through some tough stuff. So if you feel good about the past, draw from it for experience and let it teach you. Then next is how you feel about the future. We've got to have the future well designed. The future is called the promise.
Those racing thoughts you have, sleepless nights, the anxiety, it's all there for a reason. It's telling you something. It's telling you that you need to take action. All of those emotions are telling you that you're meant for more than this. So don't ignore it.
You know, don't allow the storms that come into your life to make you lose that gratitude, to make you lose the appreciation for waking up. Learn how to dance in the rain, dance through the storm, embrace the storms, right? Because these things that happen to us, right? Hard times, difficulties, obstacles, they're inevitable. So the best thing you can do is learn how to work with the flow of life rather than against it. You know, don't try to run away from the pain. Don't try to escape the obstacles that come into your life. No, learn how to embrace them head on. Learn how to go through them, because that's where growth happens.
Everyone's just looking out for themselves, and that's okay. But it's time for you to start prioritizing yourself too. Trust that things will fall into place and that everything will work out for the best. You've overcome a lot through this journey and stayed hopeful even when things felt impossible. It's okay to be selfish too. It's your turn now to get what you deserve.
You're not really enjoying while you pursue the goal, whatever it is in your life. If you're not really enjoying the doing because you are so focused on becoming and achieving and arriving at this future point that the enjoyment of the doing is so greatly diminished or disappears completely, because all you want to do is arrive, but you're not there yet.
I can't handle not knowing. I can't handle not finding out. I don't want to not find out. It'd be not knowing will drive me crazy. The wondering what if. What's it? Could be embarrassed of failure? Could be ashamed of losing? I mean, those are already two things that when I just say them, if I hear somebody else say that to me, I'm reaching out going, no, dude, feel more. No, don't be ashamed. Screw up. Find out.
Number one, you have to stop regretting the past. There's nothing you can do about it. Don't forget the past. You can learn from it and get better from it so you don't make the same mistakes, but you got to stop regretting the past. Number two is stop worrying about the future. Psychologists have found that 85% of what you worry about on a daily basis
will never happen. That's a waste of your energy, that's a waste of your time. And then number 3, stop looking for your happiness in other people. Other people cannot make you happy. It is absolutely impossible.
When you form a partnership, you make one decision. My decision is to be great. My decision is to be unstoppable. My decision is to win. My decision is to whatever it may be. Then after you make that decision, you got to commit to it. How many times have you talked yourself out of the commitment? You've talked yourself out of the commitment.
It's not a bad thing to be unique. It's not a bad thing to be different. Not a bad thing to be comfortable with yourself, regardless of what everybody else around you is doing.
Those who are willing to risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. You have to take the risk. You can no longer play it safe. Now it's time to get risky. Now it's time to truly find out what you're made of and what you could achieve. Now it's time to truly find out how many lives you could impact. Now it's time to find out what you are destined to become.
You can't have an easy life and a great character. Show me a trust fund kid that inherited a bunch of money, and I'll show you someone mentally tortured. It's not the pursuit of happiness, it's the happiness of the pursuit. The journey or the destination, it's who you become on the journey.
If you're not getting past this today, this week, this month, this year, all of a sudden a decade goes by and you're still holding up and you can't get rid of that thing, if it's holding you back from going where you want to go, maybe you should just deny the fucking thing ever fucking happened. Kick it in the head. Kick it off the curb. I'm done with you. I'm sick of you. I'm tired of hanging out with you. I'm tired of that thing, whatever it is, holding me back from going where I want to go.
Never say you can't do it. Say, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet. And that's true with everything. It's like, there's nothing that you can't do. You may not have done it yet. We don't know if you can do it or not until you really practice, and then you find out if you could do it or not, or how well you could do it.
You have to kill your current self for your new self to have room to grow. And so it's this constant appraisal of your skills and activities. Which of these makes me stronger? Which of these makes it more likely for me to hit my goal? And I just want to give you that frame because that single frame of, is this person being in my life make it more likely or less likely to hit my goal? Is this activity or this behavior that I do make it more or less likely to hit my goal? And I consistently just ask that question over and over and over again. Imagine a competitor that you'd never want to go against. Focused, persistent, always learning, always improving, relentless, says no to everything but that which makes them stronger. You know what he looks like, you know how he acts, you know who he associates with. That's future you. Now become him.
A dream is so big, when you have something, it's hard to give up. You get to the point that you're capable of risking more for just a dream, which is something that a normal person would not understand.
You know, right now the goal is just to focus on myself, you know, everything growth. I'm not worried about the mistakes that I made in the past or anything, you know. I'm in competition with myself. So I'm just getting better and better and better. That's it.
You want to know when your life will really change though? The truth is, your life will change when you realize that some people are gone and they ain't coming back. Stop trying to breathe life into something that died years ago. Some people are in your life forever, but most people are only passing through. That chapter is in the past. So instead of reading the same chapter over and over again, it's time to make space for people who actually deserve your time and attention and who are presently here with you right now.
Remember this when life gets tough. Life is a lot like driving. Sometimes you get lost, and sometimes you have to take streets you don't like. Maybe they're full of traffic, or maybe they're too bumpy, but they lead you where you need to go. Each rough patch has a purpose that will teach you a lesson and make you stronger. You might not get why you're on a hard road, but trust the process. Every path, no matter how hard, is needed for your growth. The bumps in the road are steps to where you need to be. Keep going. Even when the way is unclear or crowded, you have a place you're meant to reach. The funny thing about life is that we can have so much and still feel something's missing. There's always that empty spot making us wonder why. We make excuses, looking for reasons for this feeling, wondering if there's a fix. It's because we can't let go, holding on to a dream of a perfect life. We forget that good things take time.
Pleasure passes quickly, but the shame remains. That's the harsh Stoic truth. But the positive side of that is the reverse. When you work hard for something, when you put in hard labor on something, that passes quickly. But the pride, the virtue, the good that comes out of it, it remains.
And it's about accepting the seasons. The weather can never be the same. That can never rain all day, every day. So maybe you're in a season, but the weather always has to change. What can you be learning? What can you be doing in this season? Because it's definitely not gonna change if you're not figuring out what lesson you need to have in this season. If it never rained, the plant's not growing.
Have you ever realized that both fear and faith require you to believe in something that you cannot see? Think about that for a second. Both include uncertainty, both require discomfort. One keeps you small by anticipating danger or pain. The other wants you to grow by anticipating joy or love. So if you're stuck between the two, doubt or hope, fear or faith, maybe the simpler question is, which of the two do you value more? Once you have your answer, start acting from there.
Most people, when they fail, they don't like to look at themselves in the mirror and say, you know what? Maybe I have to change. People want change to happen to them. They don't want to change. And when you realize that change isn't going to happen to you, you need to actually proactively determine your future. Then and only then can you actually take not only full accountability for your good actions, your bad actions, but for your full life.
If you feel like you lost your way, I would say congratulations. If you're lost, that only means one thing. You're about to be found. And sometimes you need to lose your way in order to find a better way. Sometimes you need to lose certain things to gain better things. Sometimes certain doors have to close that you want to keep open so a better door can come into your life.
If you have enough reasons, you can do anything. If you have enough reasons, you can go as far as you want to go, cash in on all that you want to cash in on, if you have enough reasons. Enough reasons to get up early. Enough reasons to stay up a little late. Enough reasons to buckle down and learn the disciplines. Enough reasons to put yourself through the paces. Enough reasons to develop the language. Enough reasons to pay the price.
I hate it when people say, fake it till you make it, because that sounds to me like you're lying. I am future me. I'm walking into this room right now as future me. I have written down very clearly who I want to be. 1 year from today, I'm going to be that person now. That's what I'm going to be. I'm going to start acting like that person today.
The only thing standing between you and the life that you want is the ability to grieve. Grieve the past potential. Mourn the fantasy of what could have been, the life that you thought you'd have by now, the people who chose not to stay, the mistakes that you're still beating yourself up for. Grieve it all. Let go of your comfort zone and the desire to be chosen or approved of, because your new life will cost you your old one. And remember that in the process of building this life that you want, you'll only ever lose what was meant for a person that you no longer are.
You need to understand this. Everything in your life is a reflection of a choice you've made. If you want a different result, make a different choice.
You have to demand it. You have to promise yourself. This is it right here. You have to promise yourself that you will not ever be a failure. You have to marry this thought pattern. I don't care if on your deathbed, dying, hurts, anything, you have to promise yourself before you get there that you are not going to go all lose.
And it's like the things that we need to work on that are calling us, that are the portals into evolution and greater awareness and self-understanding are the things that we don't want to look at because they're uncomfortable. If you don't confront them or look at them, they only grow stronger and at some point reveal themselves in your life in ways none of us want, right? So the solution is always to move towards the thing that you're avoiding or don't really want to deal with.
Once you decide to be all in, you are going to be misunderstood by every individual out there, including yourself. You will no longer recognize yourself because being all in requires you to show up differently at different scarce people.
Whatever you want in life, you're gonna have to work hard for it. And if it's huge, you're gonna work 10 times as harder. I would get so jealous of people who could get it easy or get some form of it without having the difficulties that I had. I'm like, how did you just walk into this and get that? And how I'm struggling, I would get so angry. Then I had to like, you know what? I'm never gonna be jealous of anybody again. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna understand why my path is different. Why do I have to work much harder than that person? And when I tell you, as I look back at all of those people, I kept surpassing and surpassing and surpassing and surpassing every time. I'm like, wow, the very person that you were jealous of because of what they had, look at where you are now. Now they're looking at you going, wow, how did you do that? Well, instead of being jealous, I started working and focus and working harder and harder. Nobody could outwork me.
All of us have this conflict going on at all times inside of us. And it's between two forces. And the first force is your voice of fear and your inner critic. There's another voice, the second voice, your soul, your true self. That voice is a little quieter, and that voice isn't in your head. A lot of times it shows up in your body. Feel that. The voice of fear will lead you to a life that's too small. If you want to reach full power, it's in the second voice. This contains your dreams, your path, contains your energy. Energy is the language of your soul. If you want to feel the full magnitude of what you can do in this one life that you have, there's really only one decision. Which voice will you listen to?
Every limitation you have in this life is self-imposed. You don't have to be special or talented. All you have to do is believe with every fiber of your being that you can make it work. And sooner or later, it will. If you believe you have what it takes, then your mind will do whatever it can to prove you're right. So be delusional. Go for that thing that seems like it's so far out of reach, because the only thing that's stopping you is you.
I ask people all the time, man, who are you when it goes south, man? Not when you get what you want. We know when the sun's shining and you get what you want, you're gonna smile. Right. Babies do that. I give them a bottle, they gonna smile. I give them what they want, they gonna smile. I give a puppy a snack, he gonna smile. But when you don't get what you want, when it doesn't go the way you want it to, even if it affects and impacts you on a physical level, who are you? Because that's the person that your kids are gonna learn from. That's the person that your parents raised. That's the person that will go out and either positively or negatively affect and impact the world.
Progress over perfection. You do know that if you're making progress, most people are going to try to nail you with not being perfect. So don't even try to be perfect. Just embrace your weirdness. Embrace the fact that you're different. I think you gotta give yourself a little credit for being that way. But if you're gonna do it, you can't give into the criticisms you're gonna be hearing. You're gonna get critics all the time. You're gonna live in discomfort most of your life. Remember this: growth over destination, expansion over stagnation, progress over perfection. You gotta lean in to progress. You gotta lean into who you are. You gotta fully celebrate and embrace the fact that you're trying to do something great with your life, and that should be acknowledged.
Bird doesn't land on a branch trusting that the branch won't break, but rather trusting in its ability to fly away. You are the bird, life is the branch. Don't waste your entire life overanalyzing the safest place to land. Make a decision, enjoy the view while you're there, and trust that you'll be able to move on if and when the time comes.
If you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you you can't do something. I'll repeat that. If you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you can't do something, not even yourself.
You need to work on yourself. If you just try to be pampered, and if you're trying to be soft, and if you're trying to be the victim of those, you're not gonna go anywhere. We need to get stronger. We need to get tougher. We need to not be afraid of failure. We got to go and do the work. We got to face adversity. Adversity breeds character, is strength. We have to be willing to go through hardship, through suffering, through pain, through crying periods, all of that stuff. Don't shy away from any of that because it just makes you stronger.
There will be days when you give every ounce of yourself, every ounce of your soul, blood, sweat, and tears, early mornings and late nights, and not see any result from all of your hard work. And the most difficult part of all of that is knowing you have to show up the next day and do it all over again. And you may not see the result immediately. It may not come next week. But believing that eventually the result will come is what makes a champion.
There's gonna be days where you don't feel like showing up. There's gonna be days where you're paralyzed by self-doubt, and days where the distance between where you are and where you wanna be is overwhelming. I'm here to tell you that the only way to keep inching forward when those days happen is to be committed to the process. Because the ones who stay consistent, whether they feel like it or not, are the ones who see the results, not the ones who have conditional commitments on their goals. Keep going.
I think when you feel stuck or dissatisfied in your life, it's a signal. And it's not a signal that your life is broken. It's a signal that one of your most basic needs are not being met. Your need for exploration. And your soul needs exploration and growth. And the only way you'll get it is by forcing yourself to be uncomfortable.
Why is life so hard? Life is never easy. If it's easy, it would be boring. Life should be hard. Embrace the hardness of life, because through those hardships, you're learning, you're molding, and you're becoming a person. So, life should be hard. When you accept that life should be hard, then nothing is hard. Everything is easy, because everything is a lesson that you can learn something from. Every day is a new day to learn something new. So what are you gonna learn today?
Sometimes growing and breaking feel the same. I think that sometimes growing and breaking are the same thing. And here's something to keep in mind. In this uncomfortable season of growth, you are not the one that's breaking. What's breaking is everything that isn't you. And sometimes that hurts.
Sometimes you have to go through that adversity and that challenge and that setback to activate the passion and the drive. You know, sometimes it takes the sting of defeat. Sometimes it takes the sting of heartbreak to activate something within you that was needed for you to start moving in the direction that you're meant to move, to get to where you need to be.
The right path is often going to be the hard one. It's going to be the one that requires you to believe in something with no guarantees. The one that asks you to let go of all control and walk forward in blind faith. But you know you're not walking blindly, because you can see it. You can feel that there's no other choice but this. Everything you've been through has prepared you for this moment. Lean into it. Trust it. You're ready.
You know, you have a decision to make. Am I gonna stay right here? Am I gonna live my life and be happy? Which, by the way, if that's what you want, there's no judgment. But what I'm saying to you is if you're that ambitious now and you don't keep moving, you're gonna feel bad about staying in the same spot. So it's important that we set bigger goals and that we continue to progress through life, because we have to have a purpose, we have to have a drive, and the reality is our pursuit of a bigger goal produces a lot of good for people outside of ourselves. So what gifts are you suppressing by staying in that place and being content where you are? How many lives changed? How many new ideas? How much good is now being capped in your jar because you've decided to stay right where you are? That's something to think about.
Now stay after it. If you're maybe feeling down or you're not feeling as motivated, that's where your discipline has to really kick in, because the motivation's not always there. The discipline, that's what's got to be your backbone for progress. Even if you don't want to do it, or you're not feeling motivated to do it, the discipline will keep you, on that steady upward slope.
Each and every day, I'm trying to be the best I can be in that day. I'm trying to maximize that day, just that day. And I think if we all can shift into focusing on the small integral steps that go into the big changes, that's when we'll see the most growth and the most evolution in our lives.
You are the architect of your own reality. So design a life that resonates with your true self.
What you think and what you believe is what will come true for you. Your thoughts create your life. It's that simple.
There comes a time when you have to snap. You make a choice to go all in, to stop hesitating, to be relentlessly consumed by what you love. You give everything towards a vision only you can see, and everything turns off except this one thing that dominates your life. Once you decide, life becomes simple. Life's too short to not see what you're capable of.
What kind of permission do you need? To do the thing that you and I both know you really want to do? The thing that not everyone is going to approve of, but you know you're meant to do? What kind of permission do you need to get up and get after it? Yes, there's some risk, mostly just a bruised ego, but you know what's a hell of a lot worse than that? Living with the regret of inaction. Knowing the thing that you need to do, the scary steps that you have to take to grow into the person that you know you want to be, and doing nothing. So if you need it, this is your permission slip. Go do what you need to do.
Disappointments come. Those are normal. That's part of life. But the question is, how do you handle it? How do you handle the coming winters and the disappointments and the downtimes? Well, you can get stronger, you can get wiser, and you can get better. The winters won't change, but you can. And that's how life changes for you. See, before I understood when it was winter, I used to wish it was summer. I didn't understand. When it was hard, I used to wish it was easy. I didn't know. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better.
Failure, mistakes, problems are actually the best thing that can happen to you. That instead of getting reactive and going, God damn it, what's wrong there, and getting all stiff and rigid, just bend with it and say, this happened for a reason. It's teaching me a lesson. I made a mistake. I need to learn from this.
This is it. There will never be a more perfect time than now to put everything on the line. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about how long you can keep this up. Just do it today. Use every ounce of energy within you to be the absolute best that you can be.
Set direction, not destination. If you want to be agile, quit trying to arrive somewhere. Just take the journey. The dream's free, the journey's not. And there's no improvement when we arrive. You don't improve before you start, and you don't improve after you arrive. You improve while you take the journey. It's the journey that you discover. It's the journey that you improve.
Do things just because you think you're gonna get something for it. That's not why we do things. Do what's interesting to you. Don't worry about the outcome. We can't predict the outcome. We can never predict the outcome. Follow your own inner guide. It directs us.
Stop comparing yourself to other people. You're not in competition with them. You've got to get this in your mind. In this life, your only competition is you. Life is you versus you. All that matters is when you go to bed tonight is that you're better than you woke up this morning. And if you string together 365 of those days, then you're a different person in a year with a massively different life.
beautiful thing about life is that you get to choose your hard. Everything in life is hard, but you get to choose what your hard is. It's really hard to build an incredible body and physique. It's also really hard to see your body completely fail you. It's really hard to build meaningful relationships. It's also really hard to live on the surface with a bunch of people. Again, you get to choose your hard. It's really hard to live a life of purpose, working on something you care about. It's also really hard to live without purpose. You get to choose the thorns that you're gonna have on the path of your journey. It's something that I think about constantly. It's like, how can I just endure this a little bit longer? How can I just embrace this hard of whatever it is that I'm going through?
The only thing between you and the person you want to be are the skills that you're missing. First, imagine yourself in 10 years doing exactly what you want to be doing. Now ask yourself, what skills does that version of you have that you currently don't? List those down, and next, ask yourself how those skills are acquired. The next step is to be relentless in your pursuit of developing those skills every day. Make sure every job, opportunity, side project overlaps with this list in some way. Focus on the skills that you're missing, and over the long run, you'll become exactly who you wanted.
Do you really want legacy? Do you really want to live out your dreams and live life as you imagine? Do you really want to reach your full capability in mind, body, and spirit? Do you? How bad? Does it make you lose sleep at night? Does it leave you feeling restless? Is it at the forefront of your mind every minute of the day?
Now here's what I want you to know. If you don't sow, you don't reap. So if your focus is on reaping and what are people going to do to add value to me today, every day is going to be empty. Every day you're going to come up short. But the day that you realize that adding value, sowing seeds is more important than reaping the harvest, your life and your communication will incredibly change. You see, I consider the success of my day as a communicator, as a leader, is based on the seeds I sow, not the harvest I reap.